All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Big Dog Brett. I'm not sure what's going on, so you guys may notice something different. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to figure it out. What it do? Michael Porter, how you doing, sir? Resident member, thank you so much for being here. Let's see, Eli James, how are you, Pizza Woman? Yeah. Michael Porter says thumbs up, everybody. Thank you for that, sir. That does help the channel. Much appreciated. Force equals mass times acceleration, something the Georgia Tech quarterback should remember when he sees Jordan Davis, number 99, running at him. Nate the Great. Woo! What's up, Cranston Brave? How's everybody doing? In case you guys didn't notice, what's going on, SEC Dog? This is my old webcam. And I've had this webcam for a very long time. And I was very fortunate to be able to pick up the new webcam for an extremely cost effective pricing. I did a side-by-side comparison with these two cameras, and this camera, this camera looks infinitely better than this camera did. So as you can see, it is actively being retired, an oldie but a goodie, but it is no longer required. So thanks for your services. C910, no more. So I'd like to get you guys' opinion. What do you think of the new webcam, the quality, the color? Is this something you guys think is an improvement? Seeing this ugly mug in a higher definition is probably not something you deserved, but nonetheless, that's what you're going to get. 112 days till the Slob Olympics. I guess I need to start training. It's about time to bust out the donuts. So yeah, I'll start working on that soon. Sometimes I feel like the Great White Hype. If you guys ever seen that. Marvin Mealer says, I love the new webcam. Thank you so much. Appreciated. I definitely like the quality and the clarity. And now that you have a webcam where you can actually see, you can tell I have a lot more gray hair than what you may have thought. So yeah. Oh man, glad you went live. I was about to get banned on Mark Rogers' channel. Mark's a good dude. Speaking of which, for those of you that are now watching this show, I will be on Mark's show Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys want to come over there and support me on that channel, that'd be great. Mark is one of the hardest working people that I've met in the biz. He's got his main channel, and then he's got multiple channels after that. And he stays super busy. So I'm very, very grateful for Mark to give me an opportunity to be on his show. Please go over there and support his channel. Hit like, subscribe, and share on his channel as well. Great content over there. Probably one of the most unbiased people you'll meet. Great football analytics. Really knows the inside and outs of college football. Great resource for knowledge and entertainment. So today we're going to be going over a whole bunch of things. I have a list here. It includes George Pickens, some of the injury lists for UGA, what's going on with current recruiting situation, the line for UGA versus Bama, this upcoming week's game, and whatever else we tend to get into. I'm really excited about this new webcam. I know that may not be a big thing for a lot of people, but for me, I'm always trying to drive the quality of content of the video to another level, whether that be getting new guests on or improving the quality, improving the background, just kind of making everything better than it was. And this really seems to be a big step up in quality content. And I want to do that for you guys, not just for the show, but just to make it better for you guys. So then there's that. Okay. So morning there, Nate the Great. I have to root for my arch enemy for tomorrow. Who's that? Who you talking about? Nate the Great says I don't like it. Well, if you'll look right up there on the top where you have this tab open, there's an X on it. You can click that, and that will solve the problem. But I do appreciate you being here, Nate. Nate's good people. Okay, so let's look at first thing I want to go over. I did not have an opportunity to go over on Wednesday. I was going to do it on Wednesday, so I'm going to do it now. You have the college football playoff top 25 list. Georgia at number 1, Alabama at number 2, Oregon at number 3, and Ohio State at number 4. Then a 10-0 Cincinnati at 5, a Michigan at 6, and a Michigan State at 7. Now, this is really interesting because, well, there's a lot to unpack here. And if you watch a lot about college football, you probably already know what I'm about to say. But I'm going to say it anyway. Some of these problems are going to solve themselves because there's no way that Ohio State, Michigan State, and Michigan all stay undefeated rolling through this next set. It's not a possibility. Let me pull it up and I will show you why. There's Michigan. Excuse me. Here's Michigan, because Michigan State and Ohio State play this weekend. So that's going to tell you something right out of the gate. And then after that, you've got Michigan, who is going to be playing Ohio State here in a couple of weeks. So this could be a real mix-up here. This could be really interesting. The reason behind that is because Ohio State has to play both Michigan State and Michigan in back-to-back games. I mean, to say the problem is going to solve itself here, this problem is going to solve itself. And it may very well be possible that none of these teams end up in the in the college football playoff. Because if Michigan State, if they beat OSU, that gives OSU 2 losses. And then Michigan State can still lose. Michigan State can still lose to where's it at? Michigan State could still lose to Penn State. So that would give them 2 losses. They'd be out. OSU could lose to either Michigan or Michigan State, and they could be out. Now, Michigan only has they have Maryland this weekend, which they should win that game, and then they have Oklahoma State. I mean, it could really pan out a bunch of different ways. So Michigan could take a loss to Ohio State. So there's your 2 losses. Michigan State could take a loss to PSU. They have 2 losses. And Ohio State can take a loss from Michigan State. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying theoretically it's possible. All of those, each one of those teams could receive another loss from here on out and be completely out of the college football playoff. Talks. Let's see what we got on. Ammonia Wilder says, how about them football digs? Oh man. Christopher says, I don't care. I don't care if this is ARC we're playing. Play these younger guys, especially wide receivers. Seen enough from starting 3. Williams is a monster. Mechie is okay, and Bolden shouldn't start at all. There may be some truth to that. SEC Dog, Nate the Great, K Dog says, "Hey BDB." Christopher Brave says LSU should take Bill O'Brien. Maybe. K Dog says they don't need 2 losses. I don't want Bama sneaking in if they have 2 losses. If there should be no teams getting in with 2 losses. There's still plenty of quality football teams left that go undefeated, and it's very difficult. Even if you have a very limited number of teams, you would still have undefeated teams. We'd be ranked above 2-loss teams. I mean, that's just the way that has to go. You can't have. Let me go over here. Let me close this, take this. Here, rankings. So looking at college football playoff, I already told you guys what we have. You can't have Notre Dame at number 8 and have Oregon and Ohio State, or let's just say Ohio State takes a loss. They're out of the college football playoff selection committee. They're out. That's going to bump Cincinnati up to 4, Michigan up to 5, and Michigan State up to 6. If either one of those 2 teams loses, they're out. So that would still leave you with Oregon and Cincinnati. Now, Oregon very well could lose to Utah. Matter of fact, for some reason, I think Utah's favored in this game. But if Oregon loses to Utah, that's 2 teams, they're out. So that bumps Cincinnati up to the number 3 spot. And let's say Ohio State, Michigan State, and Michigan all take another loss. You would still have Notre Dame at 1 loss, Oklahoma State at 1 loss, Oklahoma at 1 loss. And and technically you have UTSA at 10-0, but they're not going to take that. You would still have a litany of other teams that only 1 loss that would move up into that position. I mean, that's just the way that would go. So Georgia would be there. Alabama could be there. If Alabama takes a loss, then you've got Georgia at number 1. Alabama's out. Oregon takes a loss. Oregon's out. Ohio State takes a loss. They're out. Then Cincinnati would bump up to the 2 spot. Michigan takes a loss. They're out. Michigan State takes a loss. They're out. Notre Dame would bump up to 3. And then Oklahoma State or Oklahoma, one of those is going to be 10-1. They're going to bump those guys up there to 4. One of those guys is going to go to 4. Wake Forest is probably going to finish their schedule at 9-1. They're going to bump those up. So, it's not mathematically impossible, but nearly mathematically impossible for it there to be a 2-loss team to have to be allowed into the program, into the college football playoff. Pastor Dave, don't see the coach's obsession with him. What did Pastor Dave jump in here? Did I miss him? Hey, there's Pastor Dave. They got Bolden practicing at running back. What a joke. Oh, man. Is Mizzou favored? I don't know. Mizzou is so terrible. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I think Mizzou is actually favored in this game. Let me see. Missouri at Florida? I don't know about that. Let me check this. Let me go and check it. I'm going to check it. Check it. Florida is at a 76%. Mizzou is at 23%. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that Florida and Mizzou were going to have matching records, I might have believed that, but I never would have believed it both would have been 5-5. Both of these teams are right now playing to try to make a bowl game. If they beat Mizzou, they'll go to a bowl. But I honestly believe they're going to lose to FSU. That's just my opinion. Yeah, FU's favorite over Missouri for sure. Mizzou has beaten Florida like 4 or 5 times, though. That's true. That's true. That's true. But I don't know. I think just the ability for Florida to be able to score 70 points puts it out of Mizzou's range, even if it was against Samford. It's really hard to say. All right. So for those of you who really want to know, I'm going to give you guys the injury report ahead of the Charleston Southern game. Let's see here. Offensive line, Jamar Sawyer. Foot injury status, questionable. Kirby Smart said Jamar wasn't quite able to play last week. I thought he was close. He was out in warm-ups, and it bothered him a little bit. We thought he would be close last week and thought he would be an emergency guy. We think he is going to be cleared this week, so we are hopeful to get him back. So that's possible. This is the guy I'm looking for. Running back Kendall Milton. He's out for the season, excuse me. MCL. Kendall is back running, which is good. I think he got up to 15 miles per hour yesterday or whatever. But I don't think you're going to see him. I think he's out for the rest of the season. I think he's going to want to heal that MCL up. We'll see. Kirby Smart says they want him back for Tech. We'll see what happens. Dominic Blaylock, knee/hamstring, questionable. Dom was, bounced back, and he's down with the flu bug. So he wasn't with us yesterday or Tuesday, so we've been dealing with the flu. And I still think there are Georgia players right now dealing with the flu. I do want to talk about that here in a minute. Players who are out, obviously George Pickens is out. Kirby Smart says Pickens has been going against our number one defense some, which is a clear indication that he's close. That means he's been playing on the number 2s and scout team. We've been doing 7-on-7. He's getting reps. He's really doing the same thing he did last week. He's doing very similar things, just probably more of it in terms of reps and more volume, picking up volume. He's still non-contact jersey and practices some with us. Out for the season, Tate Rowley, Tyke Smith, Jalen Kimber, Ryan Davis, and Arian Smith. So for those of you who wanted to know, Arian Smith is out for the season. But for other than that, we pretty much got all of the other guys back. The receivers are back. Just a lot of good things there. Let's catch up on the chat. Stay away from here says, feel like Cincy going to lose to either SMU or Houston in the AAC championship. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I keep hearing rumors that Pickens is not with the team, and we will not see him play another down at Georgia. My feelings have been he has been working out with the team to get ready for NFL. I highly doubt that. While Pickens may be an elite talent, your draft stock is extremely important. Where you rate, where you go, where you end up is all based off of your draft stock. And if you're a competitor like George Pickens, who knows he has first round draft potential, he's not going to want to declare for the draft and then end up like Evander Holyfield's son, Elijah Holyfield. Put on good old Carmex, man. My lips get chapped. It was windy today. BDB, Big Ten homers clowning us for playing Charleston Southern this week when they have played middle schoolers all year. Their season is tough at the end, not the beginning. Everybody plays cupcakes at some point. If you're an elite team, they're going to say you're playing cupcakes, whether you're playing in conference, out of conference, it doesn't matter. The fact that Georgia goes out and tries to schedule strong teams like Notre Dame, which we did a home and home with Notre Dame. We did a home and home with Clemson, and there's other elite level home and home teams that I think USC is one of them, or Cal or somebody. I can't remember who it is. But we try to schedule these powerhouse programs to fill in some of those slots. But the fact of the matter is that everybody plays cupcakes if you're a good team. And you need those teams. You need those games. Those are games to help recover. Nobody wants to go out and play 12 games in a row where you play Alabama every Saturday. Nobody wants that. They can say what they want to. Nobody wants that. You get too beat up. UCLA, that's one of them. Oregon next year, that's another one. Colby, when's the next musical breakdown? I actually have downloaded all of the music. I've decided which teams I'm going to do. I had decided which songs went to which scores, and I just didn't have time to put it together. I didn't have time to do my Wednesday night live show, which is just kind of for lack of a better way to say it, you're just kind of winging it. But when you have a video like that where you have to do the video, and then you actually have to go in and edit and add the had the emblems and then all the little transitions and all. I mean, a 10-minute video, a 10-minute video can take 2 hours of editing. So it's just trying to find the. He said those are the freaking best, man. I love them. I'll try to put that together as soon as I get another chance. I am somewhat excited for MU versus Florida tomorrow, as Dan Mullen is still there. There you go. 10-0, hashtag 1080 though. Appreciate it. As a dog fan, I endorsed Ronald McMullen. What's up, Matty Sims? Appreciate you guys. Oh man. So I'm going to let's see, what else was there here? There was something else. What do I want to talk about? I forget what I want to talk about. I do it all the time. We talked about scheduling a little bit. Let's talk about games tomorrow. Let's see who Florida Gators. High garbage. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Let's do this. Let's do this. I know you guys may be throwing stuff in the chat, but I'm on other screens right now and trying to pull up some information. Let's go back to this game. And then let's look at the box score. Okay. Where is this? Let's sink another drink, 'cause it'll give me time to think. And with the record selection and the mirror reflection, I'm a dancing over myself. Oh, by the way, thoughts and prayers go out to BVD. Seems to be feeling a little better today. It was pretty bad the other day. So you guys go over there to your page and reach out to him and just tell him, hey, thinking about you, man. Let's do. Oh. Nope, wrong way. I always get those backwards. When I'm dividing numbers, to get percentages, I always do them backwards. Okay, so there has been a lot of controversy. Lou's in here? What? Hey, what's going on, Lou? So there's been a lot of controversy about the Stetson Bennett situation at UGA. I wanted to address it. I wanted to just kind of clear the air about that. Apparently, there's been some people that's pretty upset about some of the stuff I said. Guys, let's just have an honest conversation. Let's have an honest conversation. His QBR rating was 81.3. That's not elite. He threw for 29 passes and 17 were caught. That's a 59% completion percentage. 213 yards in a game is not elite. It's not. I think this was the first time Stetson good, JT better. Yeah. I'm and a lot of people get confused. They think that I'm hating on Stetson Bennett. I'm not hating on Stetson Bennett. I'm not. I love the guy's story. He stuck around. It's possible. He's the best quarterback UGA has had in a long time that's stayed healthy. He looked extremely good at times when he ran the ball, but there were times when he held the ball too long. I think Stetson has taken a major step forward this year compared to what he looked like last year. And I think a lot of us kind of have some stigmatism towards him that, about how bad he was some of the time, especially whenever JT had to come in and save his bacon at one time. When he played against Tennessee, he had the third most carries on the team. Zamir had 12, James Cook had 10, but it seemed like James Cook had 100. James Cook had 10, and Stetson Bennett had 40. He had 40 yards. He took 2 sacks for losses for like 20 or 30 yards or whatever it was. But, I mean, he does add a dimension that we don't have with JT Daniels. My biggest concern with JT Daniels is JT Daniels a glass cannon? And it really seems like he is. It's like he got hurt. He got hurt in high school. Then he gets to California, and he gets hurt there. And then he comes to Georgia, and he gets hurt here. And then he gets better, and then he gets hurt again. And it's like, man, I really want this guy to stay healthy. But I can go ahead and tell you right now, Kirby Smart's not going to pull Stetson Bennett out. He likes the fact that Stetson Bennett can manage the game. I think that Stetson Bennett is a good quarterback. I think he can get the job done for the most part. My major concern is what's going to happen in a game where we really need an accurate passer who's got a deep ball threat that's extremely accurate. Does JT transfer? Probably not. The problem with Stetson, and just my opinion, Stetson was overthrowing guys that he should not have overthrown that were 20 feet away. He overthrew Lab McConkey on a perfectly called play when it should have been it was almost a check. It was a check down pass basically, but that's where it was designed to go. It's just short. And somehow overthrew this guy. I just don't get it. Let's see. Obnoxious loud dog fan says dogs on top 15-0. Nothing going to stop us. JD to NYC. Woo. I mean, there's so much to be said for how well JT has played, but you cannot make the argument that Stetson Bennett is an elite passer. You cannot make that argument. He may be great. Against certain formats or whatever. Against non-conference opponent, he has an 83 completion percentage, which is great. Against conference opponents, it's like 62, which is good, not great. Now, he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions compared to some quarterbacks, but he's thrown 4 this year. He's thrown 15 touchdowns, which is great, but his completion percentage overall is 65%. And you can look at these different stats out there, how you can say, oh, it passes over 10 yards or whatever. He's at 85% or however you want to look at it. But at the end of the day, I have reason to be concerned about Stetson Bennett. And as much as I love Kirby Smart and company, it's difficult to fully trust their decisions with the quarterback situation. Yeah. K-Dog says he underthrows a lot of deep balls and receivers help him, and some short passes he overthrows receivers. I agree. The one pass that he made to James Cook in that game looked absolutely elite. That was a great pass. It was perfectly thrown. It was thrown to the right place. It was perfect. But there were so many other passes that weren't. And at this point in your career, Stetson Bennett, you shouldn't be doing this. He came to Georgia as a walk-on. He left Georgia, went and played somewhere else for another year. Came back to Georgia in 19. He's been at Georgia in 19, 20, and this year. And he's still overthrowing guys that he shouldn't overthrow and still underthrowing guys he shouldn't underthrow. I mean, this was the first time, I believe, all season. Let me just do see all, and then I can tell you 100%. So this was the first time all season he threw more than 21 passes. The first time all season. When he played against UAB, he had an 83 completion percentage. When he played against South Carolina, he had a 33 completion percentage. When he played against Vanderbilt, he had a 73. When he played against Florida, he had a 52. When he played against Tennessee, he had a 58. So he's never had a game where he's rushed for more than 41 yards. So you can't say he's this super elite running quarterback. Can he make things happen with his feet? Sure. Is he super elite? No. And I think a lot of Georgia fans get upset when you point that out. They're like, man, you're ripping on Stetson. I'm not trying to rip on Stetson. I'm trying to call it like I see it. And if you look at some of his long passes, like the longest passes that he's thrown, 27 yards against Arkansas, 29 against Vanderbilt, 27 against Kentucky, 23 against Tennessee. Now, he had a 60-yarder against Auburn and a 47 against Mizzou and a 38 against Florida. Those are not Heisman stats. And it's not wrong as a Georgia fan to point out that there is a grave difference between the passing ability of what we've seen out of JT Daniels versus what we have seen out of Stetson Bennett. Lou says, JT averages more yards per game at UGA than most yards Stetson has ever had. I would agree. That's a statistical fact. When you're looking at what can be done at the quarterback position, I want the number one running back in the country to perform as a dominant running back every game. I want the cornerbacks to do the same. I want the linemen to do the same. I want the receivers to do the same. I want everybody on this team, that the best we can get in the country, performing at their highest potential. And there is no way that you can say that you believe Stetson Bennett is the best quarterback in the country performing at the highest level he can. You can't say that. There's that does not ring true. There's no world where that is accurate. The rest of the team is elite. That's what y'all don't understand. No, I completely understand the rest of the team is elite. When you play close attention to football and study the game, you care about the quarterback situation. Absolutely. Stetson has never had a 300-yard game, right? JT has a 400-yard plus game. JT has had one game that was over 400 and one that was right at it. One that was like, I was like 396 or something. I've seen JT Daniels put up more yards in one half than Stetson has in most games. And it's not being rude. It's not a rip on Stetson. I love Stetson. He's done a lot for UGA. He's helped us. So in the Florida game, he threw for 161. In the Arkansas game, he threw for 72 yards. Against Vanderbilt, he threw for 151. What does this tell you? 161 of Florida. What does this tell you? It tells you that it's not the quarterback situation that's winning these games. That's what it tells you. JT would have got re-injured against Tennessee. Minimum 4 sacks taken in that game. Our O-line, particularly guard play, sucks bad. That's why JT is playing. And that may be true. Lou says it's okay to not care who plays and just be happy and blindly loyal. Casual fans matter. I gave Uncle Lou an idea for a new super fan. I'm waiting for him to kick that into high gear because there's definitely part of the fan base that believes that JT Daniels is perfectly okay, and that's fine that they believe that, but it's not. My lips freaking chapped. So, man, you got any chapstick, man? My lips freaking chapped, man. Yeah. JT can read defenses and set up audibles for protection and get out the ball super fast to avoid sacks. I made this comment to a friend of mine today, and the more I've thought about it, like after I made the comment, I thought about it more and more, and I was like, you know what? That's actually true. More true than I realized when I said it. If you have a quarterback who's good with his feet, you have to ask yourself, why? Why is it necessary that this quarterback is good with his feet? Why is it that other teams do just fine with a pocket passing quarterback, but other teams need a passing quarterback? Now, you do have the phenoms out there that like the Cam Newtons of the world who can go out and do it all, right? But Stetson Bennett is not a Cam Newton. He's not. But you have to wonder if the reason he's using his feet is because he can't make the passes. And so that's kind of my opinion. I think that he uses his feet in situations because he can't make the passes. When I see JT Daniels come in, he seems to be a lot more fluid with the offense. Now, I do want to back up to where he says that JT can call audibles. There was actually a couple of times in the Tennessee game where JT did change the play at the line and did it quickly and got passes out quickly. I'm not saying it that he can't do it. I'm just saying it's not that's not the part that I'm concerned about. My part that I'm concerned about is being a gunslinger, being quick enough and having a strong enough arm to get the ball where you need to get it to. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there don't understand the game, and there's a lot of fans out there that get mad whenever you point this out. And you have to keep telling them, I'm not mad at Stetson Bennett. I'm not mad at Kirby Smart. What I'm mad about is that I personally believe, and yeah, I'm not the coach, I get it, but I'm also not a math professor, and I know that 2 + 2 is 4. I don't have to be a math professor to figure that out. But Stetson Bennett is a great quarterback and would probably start at almost every single college in the SEC. and irregardless of the rest of the country, he would start at all of those schools. He would start at every ACC school, except maybe Wake Forest, and I'm pretty sure you could probably start there. What's going on, Keith? There's nothing wrong with saying I want the best quarterback out there. Now, Keith brought up the fact that he doesn't have as much faith in JT Daniels as I do, and which is fair. But what I know is that, or my opinion is that whenever I watch the games being played, and I look at JT Daniels, and I'm like, man, JT Daniels, his worst year was 2018. He had a 60% completion percentage rating, which was not that great. But every year since then, he's had at least a 67 or higher. In 2019, he had a 73.5 completion percentage. In 2021, he had a 74.5 completion percentage. Against Vanderbilt, he was 90%. South Carolina, he was 74%. Against Clemson, who everybody, was number 3, whatever, even though he only won 10-3, his completion percentage was still 73%. Still 73%. So I have to wonder, what's the dealio? And I think it's because there's a lot of people out there that are, let me go back to 2020. We'll jump back to 2020 a minute. So in 2020, he was at 68% against Cincinnati, who was one of the best in the country. One of the best in the country. Now, he did lose 20 yards in rushing, but we won the game, and he was throwing at 68%. Last year in the regular season, he played against Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Missouri, and, had a 401-yard game. Go back here. I think these are all where he started. Yeah. I don't know. Here's my concern. JT Daniels has to come in the game in the middle of a game because Stetson gets hurt. And he's rusty because we really haven't played him. Now, we should be absolutely steamrolling Charleston Southern. We should have the backups in by the end of the second quarter, halfway through the second quarter. We should have the backups in. We should have not the second string because we rotate so many guys. Second string's pretty much co-starter. Keith says, I honestly think the quarterback position is a non-issue at UGA. UGA is in a good position with both of them. I don't disagree. I think we're in a good position no matter who the quarterback is at Georgia. And I've said that in multiple games that I don't care who we roll out there, we're going to win this game. My question is that once we run up against some more elite talent, what are we going to do? And I want JT Daniels to stay in smooth operating order. And the only way to have that happen is to let him play. We had an opportunity to let him play at the end of the Tennessee game. Kirby Smart didn't want to let him put up any points, so he stayed with all the starters, which is fine. I get it. I think he played what? Did he even play a single snap in that game? I'm not sure. Yeah. Patrick says, nah, Georgia is no good. I hate to admit that as someone who's a fan of the team that Georgia fans like to constantly remind that they are undefeated against. What's your team, Patrick? Are you – don't tell me you're a Notre Dame fan and here talking smack to Georgia. Can somebody tell me if Patrick is a Notre Dame fan? DeJuan Mathis could come back with this team and possibly win an Natty. No. DeJuan Mathis is no. I just want to make sure that we have quarterbacks ready to go no matter what. Georgia is no bad. Sorry. Making fun of the guy who said Georgia is no good. Oh, I got you. Pastor Dave says, I'm a Bama fan. I don't think we'll beat Georgia. We are young this year, yet only one I've heard say it was Lou. I think Patrick was actually taking up for UGA. Patrick knows. Patrick knows that they're undefeated. I mean, but it's only 3 games. I think UGA wins with either quarterback. I don't see the quarterback as being an issue regardless which one plays. However, our secondary, that's where the concern starts. I agree. DeJuan Mathis for Heisman. How about Jameson Winston for Heisman? How about that? My concern is that how are we going to fare? I mean, Tennessee made us look foolish on a couple of those deep ball plays, and every team is looking at us. We're ranked number 1. Every team in the country is looking at us right now, and if they can find a weakness, they're going to try to design game plans to take advantage of that. Just keeping the bear spray handy in case Hope shows up. Yeah, that girl's got to go. We'll know a lot more this weekend when we see how Georgia plays. I don't think that Charleston Southern has a dream or a prayer in their mind that they're going to come knock Georgia off. I don't think that's the case. I think these guys are just going to be there to take in the experience. Georgia got 5 stars all over the field. Even look at how we beat Tennessee, and really, according to Kirby Smart, only about 35 guys was able to play. So, yeah. Not going to win with Stetson against Bama, Ohio State, or Notre Dame, in my opinion. I disagree with that. If you look at what Stetson is doing as a quarterback, can we win those games? Absolutely. It's Georgia's defense. Georgia's defense is what's going to matter. If pass rush has been helping the secondary so much, concern for when we play a legit O-line, maybe our D is good enough to get penetration against any O-line we face. Maybe, but my concern is that secondary is still kind of young. I want to make sure that we're able to keep on pace with those guys. And I'm just to be fair, if the quarterback they're having to defend against in practice is Stetson Bennett, I don't really feel like that's going to do as good of a job preparing these guys against an elite quarterback. If they're defending against JT Daniels, that's a different story because we know he can throw. That Keith is right. Stetson's good enough to win any game as long as our D keeps feeding him the ball. I mean, this kind of goes back to the Jake Fromm theory. I mean, in my opinion, Stetson Bennett is basically Jake Fromm with feet. He can run a little bit. So that extends some plays. And there were a couple of times in that game where he snatched the ball and took off up the field and picked up some big yardage. So it's nice to see that he can do that. And it's difficult as a huge Georgia fan to be one of the guys that's saying, hey, you know, we saw these other teams with all these mobile, dual threat quarterbacks, and we want a dual threat quarterback. Well, now we have a dual threat quarterback to an extent, and now it's just like, we want the pocket passer, and it's like you can't make anybody happy. You can't make anybody happy, and I'm included in that group. So yeah. All right, there's about 39, 40 of you guys in here. Hit thumbs up real quick. I want to ask you guys a question. If you guys weren't here for the beginning of the stream, I showed this off. This is my old webcam. This is my old Logitech C910. This is what I used to use. And now I'm using the Logitech C922. Wanted to get you guys' opinion on what you thought of the color, the clarity, the fact that you can see my gray hair now. Yeah. So hopefully you guys like it. Yeah, Keith says Stetson last year does not equal Stetson this year. And I'm not his biggest fan. Just watch the games. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm also the same way. I don't believe Stetson this year is the same Stetson we saw last year. I just want to make sure the Stetson from last year doesn't show up at an inopportune moment. I like the clarity on this. This is only 720p, and this camera will actually go to 1080p. Dark background to this is my right, and this is my left. The red is the left, the blue is the right. Let's see. I can do that, or I can do that. Just whatever. I just got the extra lighting in the background. We're all historical here because we haven't won a natty in 40 years. Yeah, it's actually kind of pathetic that we're sitting here complaining about a quarterback, and we're 10-0. Obviously, he's done a good job. The blue's a little bit dark. That's because where that light is actually positioned is throwing a shadow into that case. That's why that's dark like that. But if I turn this a little bit more this way, you can see how it illuminates the wall. It's a big word for me. Illuminates. Illuminates. Receivers this year better than last year? That's difficult to say. I think the receivers, we had some really high caliber receivers last year, namely George Pickens. Yeah. Mike Bridge says this tells us the future with Monken means he wants mobility, and when Brock or Gunner take off, watch out, these two can run and throw. Yeah, that's an absolute fact. I think Stetson has grown into the role. I think Stetson's done a great job so far. Let me do this. See if anybody wants to come in and we'll talk for a few minutes. Yeah. So there's the link. We're going to kind of go over this week's games as we get going. Tuesday games are gone. Wednesday games are gone. Thursday games are gone. Friday games are going on. Yeah. So tomorrow, the noon game, Georgia versus Charleston Southern, and the Ohio State versus Michigan State. Everybody's going to be watching the Ohio State-Michigan State game, and everybody's going to be picking Ohio State. Yeah. And yeah. What are the chances of Mizzou making a bowl game? Pretty good. Pretty good. UJ may have the best team never seen. We have so many starters out for the season. Ain't that the truth? Keith says wide receivers this year are getting much better balls thrown to them. That's kind of my point. It's a possibility. Stetson is still making bad throws. He's just getting saved. Yeah, that's true too. But I mean, at this point, we just gotta. Nate, what are you doing? What kind of image is this, Nate?
I can explain.
You can explain.
Yeah.
Did you lose a bit?
I've been naming myself lately. On StreamYard, I've been naming myself California girls are better than Texas girls. Don't ask.
Yeah, okay. Whatever floats your boat, man. Yeah, whatever floats your boat. What's on your mind, man?
I want to talk about the Michigan State game and Ohio State game, whatever is the same game. But
all right.
I think Ohio State is gonna struggle for a little bit in the first half, but once they get going in the second half, they will blow out. I won't say blow out, but just manage the game more than Michigan State in the second half, because I don't think Michigan State can handle Ohio State's offense. So, I mean, I have to root for my arch enemy, which is Ohio State, because for one, they had to win because because if you think about it, Sparty has one loss in the Big Ten East, and if they lose this game, they're out of the Big Ten talk championship game. And if Ohio State wins, if Michigan wins, which they should, and it's all for the marbles for the game. That's why I want to only this one time Ohio State to win. Shut up, Kevin.
Well, for me, I'm going to be honest with you. I really think that you're looking at a Michigan State team that feels disrespected. I don't think Ohio State. I'm going to make some people mad with this. I don't think Ohio State's as good as people say they are. I think their defense doesn't get enough credit. I think their defense is really where it matters. When you look at Michigan, Michigan State has had a pretty solid defense all year as well. Right. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what people realize. Yeah, they did take a loss to Purdue, But I really think that loss to Purdue was a hangover from the big win they had over Michigan. I mean, if you looked at that game, I mean, they won that game at the very end, and I think it was just hangover. And then they're like, "Oh no!" And then they got it fixed against American. They only allowed 21 points, in that game. So I think that this game right here, I think they're going to get up for this game. I think this game is going to be closer than people think. Now, ESPN is only giving this game I think they're giving Michigan like a 10% chance of winning this game, but I really think it's going to be a closer game.
Yeah, I mean, I like closer games. If you didn't know, all come down to a field goal or whatever. Whoever wins, those I like. Not blowouts. Blowouts are not fun. I especially a Buckeye blowout, which is I experience every year. But and like you said, for next week, I think it's gonna be closer to people think for the next week for the game. What's your thoughts on that? You think it's gonna be closer or a Buckeye blowout?
Are you talking about against Michigan?
Yeah, Michigan and
I'm not gonna make a prediction on that game until I see how this game goes.
Give you, I would say give your thoughts if you could or can, or never mind. You don't have to.
On which game though?
Well, the game I just said, but you don't have to right now.
Well, your mic's breaking up a little bit, so it's kind of hard to understand. Are you saying? Or you want my thoughts and predictions against the Michigan versus the Ohio State game?
Yes.
Okay, give me just a second here. And so Michigan has played, I won't say hit or miss, but I'll say they've had moments where their defense has really shined, and they have had moments where you just scratch your damn head. And it's like, how in the world did you guys only beat Nebraska by 3 points? That's a head scratcher.
Yeah, I mean,
then you look back and you say, okay, you beat Rutgers by a touchdown. Yeah. Okay, well, you beat PSU by 4. It's like, yeah, what's going on here? And so
I don't know.
You could say, well, the Nebraska game was kind of a hangover after Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin was ranked at the time or almost ranked,
right?
Or something or another. But when I look at this, I'm like, this Michigan team reminds me of Georgia most years, which is, well, they're going to lose a game somewhere. In some game they shouldn't lose, but they'll pull it off a loss anyway. You guys are just a little bit over that mark.
Right,
because you almost lost to Nebraska. You seriously could have got into you probably couldn't have got into a closer fight with Penn State than you did. Now you really didn't blow out Rutgers, and you should have. And so when I look at that, I'm like, which team am I going to get? Am I going to get the 29-7 against Indiana, the 63-10 against the Fighting Illinois or the Huskies? Or am I going to get 31-10 against Washington? What team am I going to get? And you don't know. And so if you had to ask me,
they're kind of like a combination with like you said, like head scratching and some amazing defense. If you know what I mean,
to me, you've had one game all season where you scored 63,
right?
And then you have one game where you scored 47, and everything after that's like 38 or less. But anywhere from 21 to 38, and I mean that's okay. It's not what I would call great, and it's certainly not what I would call dominant performances. I mean, yes, a 33-7 is a blowout, but you want your offense to be better than that.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think it's not just Harbaugh's. Never mind. I think it's just offensive coordinator for Michigan, Josh Gattis, if you know him. I think he was at Bama with Saban and stuff. For 1 year and stuff. I don't know. So he I think he does a spread offense. I think I might be wrong, but like a fast spread offense, and like he calls them plays like uh let's say run it on run it out of 3rd and 16, like and which is dumb. We need to what I'm saying is that we need to pass more than run more, just because Hostet's gonna know we're gonna run all the time on in that game and stuff. And what I'm saying is we need to just pass more and mix some plays up. That's all.
Yeah, and I mean there's going to be a lot of coaching that goes into this game, and you just can Michigan win this game? Yes. Is it going to be easy? No. We're
No.
just going to have to wait and see what happens.
Right.
Dierte Dog says, BD, you still have the Halloween stuff on the walls. I do not, sir. My wife has already taken all of that down. She's already put up Christmas stuff. We have a 12-foot Christmas tree already up in the living room as we speak. It's already up. Already got decorations on it. Already got lights on it. Already got garland and ribbon on it. It's already up. And there are multiple things around the house that's already been Christmas decorated. She's already put our daughter in a Christmas dress. She's had her in elf outfits, the little stocking leggings or whatever. That's already going on. So yeah, no, Halloween is gone and it is on to Christmas. And she has RKO'd Thanksgiving to put up Christmas decorations. So it's just what she does. Thank God she does because I don't. Thank God she does because I don't.
Is it just me, or is Thanksgiving like the most underrated holiday?
What's that?
Is it just me, or is it Thanksgiving the most underrated holiday?
Actually, let's see. No, it is not the most underrated holiday.
No, oh,
it's not.
I mean, it's not as popular at Christmas or Hanukkah, or whatever.
So you want me to tell you what I think the most underrated holiday is?
What?
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
I think that day doesn't get near enough attention. That's just my opinion.
How about Arbor Day? Is that
Arbor Day?
Yeah.
I don't particularly care for Stanford, so no.
No, actually, Arbor Day is home of the. Yes, Stanford's not. I mean, they are really a tree, but why they call someone a cardinal if they're a tree? Which doesn't make sense. But I was gonna say that Nebraska is home of the Arbor Day. If you didn't know that, why do you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Nate, you're starting to break up and glitch really bad, man.
All right, see ya.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. You was getting kind of glitchy there, sir. You got to get you a better connection. All right, let's get back to the matchups for tomorrow. I'm going to run through these real quick. Ohio State, Michigan State. To me, this is a coin toss. I know everybody thinks Ohio State's going to plow through Michigan State, but I've said it before. This is a very gritty team, and I think Michigan State could pull this off. I always pick an upset every week. This is my upset this week. I'm going to pick Michigan State to upset Ohio State just because, well, it's Michigan State, and I pull for the Sparties. So, Wake Forest over Clemson. I'm going to pull for Wake Forest. I think they absolutely destroy Clemson. Clemson has not had a good start to the season. They seem to kind of getting things turned around right now. This could end up being a very good game. They've scored at least 30 points in the past 3 games. Talking about Clemson, they've allowed 24 or less in every one of those games. Wake Forest, on the other hand, they're giving Clemson's getting the kind of the nod here as far as who's going to win this game. But Wake Forest has a way to score. Even in the game they lost, they still scored 55 points. So I think that Wake Forest kind of has their offense firing on all cylinders. They've scored over 70 points in a game. I'm going to pick Wake Forest in this one, even though ESPN has given the nod to Clemson. I'm still going to pick Wake Forest. Oklahoma over Iowa State. This is another one that could very well go the other way. Iowa State is one of those teams you never know what you're going to get. Oklahoma, coming off a loss from Baylor, they did not look good in that game. They looked completely dominated by Baylor. They looked good a couple of games, but a lot of their games have been really close. One score or less games, and a lot of those games have been one score or less. So I think Iowa State's got a shot in this game. If they win it, if Oklahoma wins this game, they won't win it by more than, say, 7 points. Let's jump down to Mississippi State, Tennessee State, Texas A&M. They should win both of those games. What else is down here that's worth watching? Notre Dame over Georgia Tech. Whichever team loses, I'm okay with. I think a really good game to watch this evening. The 3:30 game is going to be the Alabama-Arkansas game. That's probably going to be, in my opinion, probably the game of the day that I want to watch. I want to see both of these teams go at it. Arkansas has got a pretty solid defense. I get that their record is not what they want it to be, but Arkansas, they scored 51 points against Ole Miss. They can get their game going. They had a slugfest against LSU, 16-13. That's like old school 1970s football scores. They seem to find ways to stay in games. Yeah, they lost to Georgia, and Georgia kind of dismantled them 37-0. But this could be a good game. It really could. Now, I still think Alabama's going to win this game, but I think it's going to be a really good game. So I'm going to pick Alabama. Huffer Billy Paul says, how do you call in? I have to do this, and then I have to go here, and then I have to do that, and then you have to click on the link and join the show. But that's the call in. I don't have the extra $50 or $60 a month to actually go get a switchboard and all that other stuff, sir. So if you want to join the show, that's how to do it. You don't have to show your face, but it gives you the opportunity to call in through that. All right, let's see. Cincinnati, SMU. Some people think SMU is going to beat Cincinnati. I don't. I think Cincinnati is going to win this game. Michigan over Maryland. I think Michigan wins that game. Wisconsin over Nebraska. Wisconsin's going to win that game, and Nebraska is probably going to fire Scott Frost on the doorsteps, on the tarmac, whatever you want to call it. Pittsburgh over Virginia. UTSA. I don't know what's going to happen against UTSA and UAB. Just have to wait and see. Florida over Missouri will be a good game to watch. Comes on at 4 o'clock. Let's see. Baylor over Kansas State. They'll win. I do kind of want to keep an eye on the Auburn-South Carolina game. That could potentially be hilarious. South Carolina, for whatever reason, they've decided to play some football at some point. They scored 40 points against Florida, and but somehow lost to Missouri. So they got blown out by Texas A&M, and they only beat Vanderbilt by 1. So I don't know what team you're going to get. I don't know what team you're going to get here, but Auburn. Yeah, well, it's Auburn, so who knows? I do want to see South Carolina beat Clemson, just because they've been getting used for a doormat here recently. What's going on, Huffer Billy?
Oh man, I love it. I think Clemson's an odds-on outside favorite to beat South Carolina. I think we'll beat South Carolina, but I don't think we'll beat Wake Forest. And so, but I don't think we're going to lose to them in a big way. Like when you said that, I was just like, you can pull for Wake Forest, but we could beat them, and we may beat them. And if we do beat them, then look out, because if we do, I'm honest to God, it depends on if we pull ourselves together here. We're getting better. We aren't completely outside the realm of getting it done. But I just wanted to counter your comment a little bit, because I think we got a shot. I don't think it's as black and white with Wake Forest as people think.
No, I think Clemson could win this game. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think that if Clemson allows Wake Forest to get their offense firing on all cylinders, it's going to be extremely difficult for Clemson to stop that.
Yeah. But they won't. Well, here's the problem. I think the defense could hold them down, but the defense is depleted, right? It's what you kind of alluded to. They've been beat the hell and back because the offense ain't worth a fat baby's ass. And so, to be honest, and so that's the biggest issue. And I know the offense is getting better, because we've got a lot of young players who are now getting an opportunity to show their stripes.
Right.
But I don't. I guarantee you, we ain't losing to South Carolina. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
I don't necessarily think it will, but in my opinion, and I'm a big advocate for what is the mindset in the locker room. And I think that if you guys lose to Wake Forest, those players may give up on the rest of the season.
No, Dabo
and if
hasn't
they
lost
do,
it. No, he hasn't lost a team, and they're not going to give up. I mean, I'll be clear.
I'm not saying he's lost a team yet.
He won't. He won't lose it. He won't lose a team because here's the thing: if he's going to lose it, he'd already lost it. He would already been lost. Not Florida. He'd already be lost. Florida's lost. They're gone. LSU gone. I mean, lost. Now, Clemson isn't that team, but yeah, they ain't going. This Wake Forest game is going to be tight. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be a beat out. Wake Forest probably will win. I expect them to. If they don't, I'll be amazed. I'll be happy. But South Carolina, hell no, it ain't going to happen. I'm sorry.
Well,
it ain't going to happen.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that I don't know.
Well, nobody knows. But I'm just saying.
And here's the thing that I'm looking at. There is no player on this team right now for Clemson that has ever been on that team in a season where they've had 4 losses in a season. There's no player on that team that's been on that team when they've had 3 losses in a season.
Actually, there's 2 or 3 players. Collins boys are on there this first year. There's a lot of players on there that haven't been there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I'm saying is that when you go back and you look, the last time that Clemson lost 3 games in a regular season, 3 games in the regular season was in 2014.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys currently already have lost 3 games, could potentially lose a 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious as to how that's going to affect the mindset of the players. I don't know if they can deal with that.
Well, let's just be honest here. There's a lot of players aren't upper class. Only Skalski and maybe a couple of others or 3 others, because Ross is gone and Williams is hurt, and we got Nagata out and Ladson out. And now we're here with Collins and all these other guys, right? And they're playing. They don't care about that. That's the least they're worried. They're wanting to make their mark today, So I think it's a lot different,
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but I think there's a lot swirling around Dabo right now that maybe Clemson fans don't know and don't see.
No, Dabo's fine. He'll be fine. Trust me, he's going to be fine.
I don't.
Yeah,
think
he's going to fire some people here in about 35 days or something like that. There's going to be a lot of damn firing going on.
Well, the biggest problem Dabo has, and Keith hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
He said if Dabo doesn't start considering the portal, his seat will start to warm.
Yeah, he says he is. I don't believe it though. It says he can say whatever he wants till I see him do it. I ain't believing it. But he did say he's going to do it. But
well, I can tell you until he starts bringing players in out of the portal. I mean, look at what the portal has done for Georgia. Look at what the portal has done for a lot of these other teams. Look at what the portal has done for, even Tennessee.
You're correct.
I mean, when you've got talent sitting there and you know that they were a top 300 ESPN recruit or even a top 100, we'll just say top 100s.
Yeah.
Those guys would love to come play for Clemson. But your mentality is, well, if you didn't want to come to Clemson first, we don't want you. You're not only are you sending a shockwave through your team, you're sending a shockwave through the transfer portal and the recruiting cycles. So,
yeah, I agree with you 90% of it. I mean, a little bit closer to 85 to 90%. But the people who committed to Clemson are there, not just superseding them and jumping them with people out of the portal, is an admirable thing to say. but it's not. And it sounds great and it feels good, right? But it's not realistic. It's just not. In this day and age, it's just not. And so that's the thing that Dabo has to stop saying to people, we're not going to go with the portal. I think he's done that for 2 recruiting classes, and so he has been very reluctant to use the portal. He's not saying that anymore when he's recruiting. He's not telling people.
Well, I think the damage is done.
Yeah, it is. For now.
And last year, Clemson pulled 5 5-stars and 12 4-stars.
Yep.
I don't believe there was any other team that pulled 5 5-stars. Now Georgia got 4 5-stars. Alabama got 4 5-stars. That was in 2020. In 2021, Alabama had 7, Ohio State had 7, LSU had 2, Georgia had 4, Clemson had 3. So they dropped to 5. So you went from number 3 ranked to number 5 ranked. Guess where you're at for year 2022?
We're way the hell down. We're
11.
way down. Like no,
you are 11.
Hang on.
How in the world?
Hold my beer. We're probably going to be down below 15. So just hang on.
I don't doubt it. How in the world can you be a team who has been? You guys have 3 national champions, 2 or 3 national championships in the past 7 or 8 years.
Because we didn't watch the tea leaves change, right?
How is Penn State out recruiting Clemson?
Well,
how is Texas A&M? How is Texas? How is North Carolina? All of these teams out recruiting Clemson, and the answer has to deal with one person, and it's Dabo Swinney.
Mm-hmm.
Dabo Swinney has made it clear that you got to be this diehard Clemson fan or he doesn't want you on the team. And I'm sorry, those players aren't going to buy into that.
But he's changed. He did, to be unfair now, this past recruiting cycle, not 2022, but going into 2023 and 2024, he's not making that promise about the transfer portal anymore. He made promises to people he shouldn't have made. The problem. He made promises. He told them we're not going to go to the portal. If you come here, you're here, and I'll bet on you. And the problem is they didn't have any reason to stay. They could leave anytime they wanted. But
players can still leave. I mean, the thing is that like I said, the damage is done. And he said that statement a couple of years ago. Yep. And you can see the stock drop.
But he's not saying it anymore. Is my point. He's changed that.
Again, it doesn't matter that he's not saying it anymore. It's a matter that he already said it.
Yeah, but the point being is that even though it's already damage is done this year and a little bit into next year, it ain't going to be done forever. Is my point. It ain't
I'm not saying that it's not done forever. Yeah. My question is that if you go 4-8 this season or 4-9, let's say you lose your bowl game to whoever you play it to. Let's say you go 4-9, right?
I hope to God we don't go to a bowl game. I told them they should deny the damn bowl game. Nobody should go to a bowl game. Have a year like us, don't ever take a bowl game. I don't give a damn if we win the ACC. Don't go. But nobody wants to hear that.
No, they don't want to hear that. But the thing that you're going to run into is that if he does not adapt, if he does not get better at what he's doing, which is what Keith is saying, he's a great coach, but he's going to have to adapt. And if he doesn't adapt, he's going to die.
He's already adapted. He's already not
until I see it on ESPN or 24/7 Sports for Rivals that he's pulled out a 4 or 5-star out of the transfer portal. I'm not going to believe it.
No, I agree.
And at that point, every single coach that is recruiting against him is going to say Dabo Swinney doesn't honor his own word. Look at what he said over here, and look at what he's doing now.
Well,
and that's the
Dabo has
to
say. You know what Dabo has to say to that. The answer to that is, I can't deny the reality of the portal. I have to change or I have to perish. I have to change or perish. I don't want to. I don't like it. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. But I got to do it for the benefit of the team. And it's what you're going to say. And you know that. And that's what's going to happen. But he is saying it now to recruits. He's not saying.
Oh no, he's saying it now. Yeah. I'm just telling you what other teams are going to recruit against him.
Whatever, that's good. They can do whatever they want. Hell, they've said a lot of things about Dabo years ago, and he is a glorified cheerleader and all this shit. He's whining all the time and all that shit.
Let's see. What do you say? K-Dog says you have to win 6 games to be bowl eligible. Clemson's already won 7 games.
I don't want to be bowl eligible. I want to.
You're already bowl eligible. You're going to a bowl whether you want it or not.
I hate
You
it.
can lose. You can lose the next 2 games. You're still going to a bowl.
We're going to the damn toilet bowl. Who the hell wants to go there? Why are we even doing a bowl?
You're going to the Cheez-It Bowl.
The Meineke Car Care Bowl.
Yeah, the CarMax Car Antenna Bowl. But it's just, they got to sit around and figure out what to call these damn bowl games
It's a mess, man.
How about the Quick Trip Rooster Booster Bowl?
Well, the Rooster Booster. Listen, man, ain't nothing wrong with that bowl.
For the life of me, I cannot understand why they don't have a bowl game that's like the Scrubbing Bubbles Bowl or something like that. Something actually used to clean toilets. I'm just. Where's the Lysol? Where's the Lysol Drano Bowl? Where's that one at?
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? It really would. I mean,
why don't preparation? Hey, you know what?
Preparation H Bowl.
The Preparation H Bowl. And the question is, would you want to win that game or not? We won the Preparation H Bowl.
Yeah, you want to win that.
Put that on the recruiting trail.
You don't want to lose that bowl, man. The Preparation H is not good.
Stray Dog says, "What's up, BDB? Dabo will take Saban's place when he retires." No, sir.
No, he will not.
People. There it is. Marvin's got it.
Okay.
We should have a contest who could come up with the best bowl name. The Clorox Toilet Bleach Bowl.
He's right.
That is a great one.
That's a great one. Yeah, that is awesome. Oh my God.
The Clorox Toilet Bleach Bowl. I would make that into a T-shirt if I wouldn't get sued by Clorox.
I love it. But anyway, I wanted to call it because I don't think we're going to lose to South Carolina within even an inch of my life. But I swear to God, if we beat Wake Forest, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll run around. I'm serious. I've said this before. I'll run around the damn neighborhood naked. I will.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, it's scary neighbors.
You'll be getting more and more like these Alabama fans.
But anyway, I just want to.
So pizza. Pastor Dave says the Weed Eater Bowl. I like that one.
Oh God.
You know what? You know what would be a great one? The Carburetor Bowl.
Ooh.
That might be a little too old for some of you guys.
That's a good bowl though. Carburetor Bowl. How do people get so worked up, or I should say not worked up? They get worked up, but they really don't know what they're talking about in football, right? And they just don't, and it makes me so frustrated.
I feel like that's pointed at me, Huffer.
No, it's not. No, you know what? No, you know what you're talking. Listen.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But it frustrates me. Sometimes I see people say crazy things in here, and they just don't really understand football. I mean,
so here's something that's actually happened is, I keep a pretty fair weathered eye on my subscriber base.
Yeah,
and ever since I brought up the whole Stetson Bennett thing and that I wanted to see JT Daniels, I've lost I don't know how many subscribers, because normally I'll game 3 or 4 a day overall.
No.
But I've had days where I've been static, and I've had days where I've lost a few, gained them back, and lost a few. It's been static. So I got a feeling that after tonight's video, somebody will want to unsubscribe. If you're one of those people that want to unsubscribe because my opinion differs than yours,
oh my God, please,
I'm sorry,
please,
that my opinion differs from you. I'm never going to agree with everybody all the time.
Yeah.
I call it like I see it. It doesn't mean I hate the kid. I want the best for the team.
No, I think listen, anybody who hates Stetson is an idiot. I'm just saying that Stetson's probably not going to save the team in a fucking dire situation. And that's the problem. Right. If we don't have a dire situation, I say we because I'm a Georgia fan. I have 3 or 4 family members went to Georgia. I ain't gonna hate on them, but you can't put all your eggs in that basket.
No, because
it's just anybody knows anything about football knows better, and that's the problem. I think it's really sad. To me, it's frustrating to get mad at you or anybody else who says, we need a better quarterback. We need a quarterback with a higher ceiling, I should say, and that's the truth. That's what you need.
Well, Keith and Keith brings up a good point. Keith said, he's not convinced JT can do it either. I agree. I'm not convinced JT can do it either.
No, I'm not giving JT a pass on this either. It would be great if you had freaking, Justin Fields. That would have been the fucking real answer, in this case, or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no, but it's just, I pray to God, and for Georgia fans and everybody in my family who's been to Georgia, I pray to God Stetson Bennett wins it. I really do. I don't want them to lose. Who the hell's asking for Stetson Bennett to fail? I don't know. They're an idiot if they are. If you're a Georgia fan, that ain't going to work. So,
yeah, which I agree. There's a lot to be said for wanting your team to do well and then just blindly following and not being critical of anything. Just kind of guessing, for lack of a better way to say it.
Yep.
JT Daniels has all of the abilities. Stetson Bennett is improving, and I just want the best for the team. So.
I pray that Stetson wins this thing, just to tell everybody like me and you and anybody else who's worried about him not getting it done. I want him to do the double damn middle finger to all of us. It would be great. Say fuck you.
If he goes up there and he raises that national championship trophy and he goes,
fuck you.
On national television, Big Dog Brett, you're the biggest idiot.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what? You're right.
I'm with you.
You're right.
Seriously.
I completely agree. I'm a big idiot right now. You man.
Yeah, I'll take it,
hey,
man.
You will not find anybody who's happier to be wrong than this guy. Yeah. I'll be so happy to be wrong.
But people think that everybody wants Stetson to fail just because they don't like Stetson. It has nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah.
At all. And no, I'm glad that some people out here see it for like it is, but some people get so butthurt and they want to just unsubscribe. Then the hell with them. I mean, seriously. And I say that with all due respect.
That's the world. That's the world we live in, though. Keith says, I think. Hold on. Keith says, I can click on the dad blasted thing. I think JT stays at UGA and battles Gunner next year. Or Vandergrift next year. If he loses out, he transfers. I think Beck might transfer in the offseason this year. I think Beck's gone. I thought Beck was going to be gone before now, but he stuck it out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Beck's gone. I like Vandergrift the better of the two. I mean, I do. But at the same time, I think it's Beck's gone, and I don't know what JT's going to do. To be honest, I mean, if Stetson stays, what's JT going to do?
I have no idea.
I don't either. I mean, I just sit there and shake my head. I have no fucking idea.
Hey, we on the same boat.
I just look at it and go,
I completely agree.
How in the hell do you know? I mean, like if you were in his head, I would be sitting there. I don't even know what the hell I'd think. To be honest. I mean, I like Stetson because of his tenacity. Stetson puts in effort. He doesn't give up. He keeps playing well. He keeps doing his job. Why can you hate on him? I don't know how you hate on somebody like that.
And a lot of people mistake, having a different opinion of him for hate, and that's kind of where some of that stuff comes from. You just kind of, you end up with it, I guess.
I pull for him. I'm pulling for him, and I really am. So I'll let you do your thing, man. I didn't want to take over but I just couldn't stand the thought of you saying that we're gonna lose South Carolina. Come on, that's just being.
Yeah. I appreciate you jumping on, Huffer Billy.
All right, man. We'll talk later.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. Yeah, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose to South Carolina. I'm just giving you some grief, Huffer Billy. Keith says Stetson has to be out of classes to take. Damn, he's only a junior, man. He's only a junior, believe it or not. So I mean, he just is. So what do you do? All right, guys. About an hour and a half in here. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. I hope you guys like the new camera. I like the new camera. There'll be more videos coming along with better clarity in them moving forward. So I hope you guys appreciate that. Really appreciate all those stuck around the end of the show. Keith Carr, Alex MLD, Marvin Mealer, Pastor Dave, I think he stayed for the whole show. Stray Dog, how you doing? John Delane, Chiquita, Pizza Woman, I know you're in here somewhere. K-Dog, Sean Stewart, Crimson Brave was in earlier. Counter Baron, how you doing? Colby was here earlier. Appreciate you, sir. All you guys really make the show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Even though it's the end of the show, go ahead and share it if you would. Gets it out to the places that I can't get it to. Trying to get the channel to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the season. I can only do it with you guys' help, and we're running out of time. So really appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Appreciate that, JC. Glad you guys like it. Have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.